Hello, I'm Michael Clements, and thank you for coming to my poster on measuring trust in virtual characters through behaviour, the virtual reality wayfinding task. So, why trust? Trust is a key feature of social relationships, which shapes our behaviour around other individuals. Traditional ways of measuring trust include questionnaires, which pose issues of ecological validity. The common behavioural alternative is investment games, which improve on this aspect, but may not be generalisable to social non-economic settings and still rely on explicit valuations to be made of your relationships. Hence, to address these, we seek to use a virtual behavioural task, pictured in Figure 1, to assess people's trust in virtual characters. We look at navigation behaviours as proxies of trust after making one character more trustworthy. These behaviours include who was consulted first, more frequently, whose advice was followed, and the interpersonal distance. Our wayfinding task design builds on Hale et al.'s Virtual Maze, which is an interlocking series of rooms where in our studies characters are part of an open environment. Our studies were conducted remotely, recruiting predominantly through Reddit and hosted on Gorilla. Participants owned their own VR headset, of which 10 different models were recorded. Prior to the wayfinding task, we administered trust manipulations to make one character more trustworthy. In Study 1, this was a fact sheet containing socially salient information. For example, what X's colleagues say about her. In Study 2, we instead adapted a more implicit behavioural paradigm for trust manipulation, the door game from Vanderbeest, pictured in Figure 2. Our wayfinding task then consisted of a series of interlocking rooms shown in Figure 3, which participants were told to navigate. At each crossroads, our two characters could be approached and prompted to give suggestions on which path to take. We also employed the implicit association test as a confirmatory measure for our trust manipulations. In Study 1, participant ages ranged from 18 to 54 years, with 4 identifying as female and 34 as male. Our IAT showed participants were faster at the congruent task, which supported our trust manipulation. Participants were more likely to follow the trustworthy character's advice and to consult them first more frequently, but there was no difference in which character was consulted more overall. However, there was a significantly greater distance from the participant to the trustworthy character. Ages ranged in Study 2 from 18 to 47 years. Of our sample, 3 identifying as female, 26 as male, and 1 as gender diverse. Our IAT again supported our trust manipulation. Participants were still more likely to follow the trustworthy character's advice, but not to consult them for advice first. However, the trend was the same as Study 1. Additionally, the trustworthy character was consulted more overall, but there was no statistical difference between the interpersonal distance. In conclusion, our IAT suggests participants formed perceptions of trustworthiness. We observed an effect of trust on how frequently participants followed our character's advice, but there were inconsistent findings on the frequency of consultation and the interpersonal distance. Overall, our data support the use of the maze task, in particular the following of our character's advice, as a behavioural measure of trust. For more information, please feel free to contact me, and thank you for listening.